Hey y'all, it's Xander here from Xander's Bricks. Welcome back to yet another one where today I'm going to be showing you how to maximize space for your Lego collection in one of the most unique ways I've ever seen, by mounting sets on your wall. And this is super simple, super easy, and super affordable to do. No power tools needed. So let's jump right into this tutorial. If you do the tutorial today correctly, you'll be able to get an effect kind of like this. Any shape, size you really could imagine, and we can easily get it up onto the wall. All right, so to do this and master this effect, we're gonna need four things. First off, the set that you're gonna wanna put on your wall. So I don't have one in my hands right now, but any set will do just fine. I like to put vehicles or ships up on the wall. They seem to look the nicest. Next, we're gonna need an X-Acto knife. Any X-Acto knife or sharp knife will probably work. You could probably get away with like a pocket knife as well. But we're gonna need a knife. Then we're going to need a base plate. Any base plate will do just fine. You could use tan ones, you could use green ones, you could use blue ones, you could use big ones, small ones, whatever you have, as long as it's a base plate. It's one of those really flimsy boards, not a full plate. Now, I would recommend trying to match the color of your wall the best. So for example, if you've got a white wall, get a white base plate. If you've got a gray wall like I do, we're gonna use a gray base plate. Now, you also don't have to use a Lego branded one. I just find that the clutch power on base plates is better than off-brand ones. And finally, we're going to need command strips. Now, I don't remember what weight capacity these ones are, but these are the medium ones. I believe they're the 5 or 7 pound ones. I recommend getting the medium ones for this. However, you could get away with like the larger ones. You might be able to get away with the small ones, but for this tutorial and for this sake, we're going to be doing the medium ones. Now, super easy. You can go get them at your Walmart or any store, really. They probably have them. So let's jump into it. Now, to start off, we're gonna take our command strips. Any size, like I said, will do just fine. And we're basically going to measure it to our base plate. And we're gonna see how many studs does one command strip take up. And in our case, it's gonna take up about 6 of them by 2. At least that's the size that I'm gonna go with. So if you're doing the medium command strips, they're 6 by 2. So that's really important because now we have to begin slicing. Now, you could do this in any way you really can imagine, but I found that X-Acto knives work just fine, super affordable as well. So we're going to measure out our 2 studs. I know it's a little hard to see, but 2 studs here. We're gonna simply get our X-Acto knife and we're just gonna slice. You're just gonna slice all the way down the board, all the way. And then you're gonna slice at the 6 mark, right? So once you've done it, you'll get something that kind of looks like this. Now, I know it doesn't look perfect. The great thing about this is it doesn't need to be perfect. As long as it's close to what it needs to be, as long as it's got the studs on it. So as long as you don't cut off studs, you've done it perfectly. The next step is, of course, to take off 2 command strips. Now, don't separate them from each other because we're just going to fold them into one another. So fold them into one another. Of course, if you've already peeled them apart, that's fine. Just make sure that the Velcro is completely connected. All right. So once we've got that, we're going to just make sure it's all pressed down. And then we're going to take off one side of the command strip. So rip that off. Have your base plate piece ready to go and connect it on just like so. So as you can see, now I basically have a sticky Lego plate. But it's nice and flat, and it's really only the thickness of the command strips. So it's really the most minimal way to make this happen. So once we have put together that little plate with the sticky on it, we're gonna have to attach it to our set. And since we have it on a base plate, you can just click it down onto your vehicle, car, whatever you're hanging up on the wall, you can connect it just like so. Some sets are going to require that you put another plate in order to make it work. Make sure that essentially you can see the command strips apart from the rest of the build because it does need to stick off ever so slightly from the wall, otherwise it's not going to connect. Now, a big recommendation that I've learned from all of my other ships that I've put up, taking off the wheels or any bottom attachments really does help. Otherwise, you're going to have to really stick it off the wall and it becomes really fragile or flimsy and kind of nerve-wracking, to be honest. So for the Quinjet, for example, I've taken off the wheels. You'll also notice that I have 2 command strips on it. This is a pretty heavy build. Sometimes Lego sets don't have a nice center point as well, so I like to include 2 command strips as well. So just depending on the ship that you have or whatever you want to try, maybe 2 command strips is what you need to do. So let's get this up on the wall and I'll show you how easy it is. Now for this step, it's important to note that we're going to keep all the command strips on the ship. I know that the command strips boxes usually say to attach it first and then press the command strip on and then attach like your frame or whatever, but I've noticed that the Velcro doesn't necessarily stay. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take off those other 2 sticky parts, or in your case, maybe just 1. We're gonna take those off, and once you've got those off, it's time to put it up on the wall. And you want to make sure to hold it for just a little bit. Otherwise, it could fall down off the wall. So hold it there for just a bit. You can adjust how things look once it's up there. All right. And just like that, we got it up on the wall. I don't know that I necessarily love it there, but hey, it's up there at this point. So I wouldn't recommend moving the ship too much once it's up on the wall, because the command strips do get a little loose if you move it too much. But there you have it. See, it's that simple. Just a base plate, some command strips, and an X-Acto knife, and you can hang up some sets and gain so much more space without needing to use any power tools, shelves, or anything like that. I hope this tutorial has been helpful. Big thank you to the person who recommended I make this video. If you guys have any other tutorials you'd like to see, Lego building or not, just let me know and I will make sure to do my best to make it happen. Thanks for joining me on this one. Make sure to leave a like and consider subscribing if you enjoyed this video or you want to see more just like it. I'll see you guys in the next one.